In a new day of classes, Minami surprised Tsubasa by finding him distracted with a poster on the wall about the winter festival. Tsubasa mentioned that the event would be the next weekend and considered going to visit it. However, Minami told him that there was no other option and, despite his insistence, she would go with him. After that, she left, leaving Tsubasa thinking that it might be considered a date. Later, Minami shared the news with her family during dinner, mentioning that she would attend the winter festival the next day. While with his family, Tsubasa checked his phone and read Minami's message, indicating that they would meet in front of Kidami Station at 11. Tsubasa still considered the possibility that it might be a date but reminded himself not to get too excited before seeing her to avoid not making it back alive. Focusing on his first event in Hokkaido, he waited at the agreed-upon location, and finally, Minami arrived, surprising him with her choice of outfit. In his mind, he noticed that she always looked so casual but appeared even more attractive without revealing too much. After relaxing, he asked if she had attended the winter festival in elementary school, to which she replied that it had been a long time since then. Listening to her, Tsubasa shared his enthusiasm for the snow statues and ice sculptures, unique elements of Hokkaido. Although Minami mentioned in a low voice not to get too excited, he didn't hear her. Shortly afterward, they reached the festival, leaving Tsubasa impressed by everything around them and asking Minami to explore more together, to which she responded with even more enthusiasm than before. After walking for a while, Tsubasa observes huge sculptures and decides to take a photo of them. At that moment, Minami reacts and positions herself beside him, expressing her desire to take a photo together. Although Tsubasa is stunned by her proximity, he agrees to the request, and as they take the photo, Minami notices the funny expression on his face, unaware that he reacted that way because of her. Later on, they decide to eat something, and Tsubasa ends up ordering a breaded hot dog. Seeing it, Minami asks if she can taste it, opening her mouth for Tsubasa to feed her a bite. After the bite, Tsubasa understands the possibility of it being an indirect kiss but avoids thinking too much about it and enjoys the hot dog. Minami watches him with a mischievous smile, saying she wishes everyone were as predictable as him. Following that, they engage in various festival activities, laughing and enjoying each moment together. In the end, they decide to sit down for a hot drink, and Minami takes the opportunity to ask Tsubasa if he likes the festival. He praises the snow and ice, highlighting the difference from Tokyo, where he lived before. He thanks Minami for the day, expressing how much fun he had and how glad he is that she accompanied him. Minami blushes at his words and reveals that she was worried because the last time she went to the festival was in elementary school. She feared disappointing him, but, over time spent with him, she has come to appreciate Hokkaido even more. She expresses how much she likes the city and is glad to have attended the festival with him. At one point, while standing, Minami slips, and Tsubasa reacts quickly to catch her, finding themselves closer than ever. After several seconds, they both realize the situation, and Tsubasa quickly apologizes, though she assures him she's fine and thanks him for his action. Finally, they leave the festival, and on the way, Tsubasa asks Minami if she would like to go somewhere else another day. Curious, Minami wants to know the reason behind his question, causing Tsubasa to feel embarrassed. Although hesitant to answer, he eventually mentions that he would like to go to the Sapporo Snow Festival someday. On another day during a break, Minami hurries to meet Tsubasa to share a special lunch. She wants to show him something, and it turns out to be instant noodles. She explains that in Hokkaido, these noodles have an exceptional flavor, and after noticing Tsubasa's reaction the day before, she decided he should experience local cuisine. She prepared the noodles with hot water, and in 3 minutes, they were ready. Then, she tells him about the Chinese soup broth that comes with the yakisoba. As Tsubasa observes what she offers, he initially thinks it looks like fast food, but the appearance and aroma awaken his appetite. Minami offers him a portion with chopsticks, and after trying it, Tsubasa comments that it's delicious. Minami tells him that this compensates for the winter festival, recalling Tsubasa's blush. When she asks if he got excited at the thought, he changes the subject, mentioning that the yakisoba is hot. Curious, Minami asks what he brought for lunch, noticing that his bento looks like a New Year's special. Excited, she can't help but take pictures. Tsubasa offers her a taste, and after trying it, Minami is delighted and wants to know more about the exquisite food. Tsubasa explains that it's stewed pork, prepared by his grandmother. After eating, Tsubasa thanks her for the meal, mentioning that he had never tried instant noodles before, and everything with her is a new experience. When Minami asks about his previous experiences, Tsubasa reveals that he had never been to a girl's house, a convenience store, or attended a festival with a friend. Intrigued, Minami asks if he's not a spoiled rich kid, and without giving him a chance to explain, she proposes going to his house after class today. On the way, Tsubasa recalls the moment when Minami asked him that question, remembering the impressive angle she used. Minami calls him to show him a snow mound. Upon entering, the small space makes them quite tight. Minami asks if it's his first time, to which Tsubasa confirms. While Minami comments that it's warm and asks him to get closer, Tsubasa feels uncomfortable and wonders what's happening to avoid making it seem obscene. Suddenly, they hear voices outside the mound and discover that Tsubasa's grandmother is present. Nervous, Tsubasa regrets that this is the only time he didn't want to be heard. Minami appears to take his arm, commenting that it was too quick and that he should have enjoyed his first time more, leaving not only Tsubasa but also his own grandmother astonished. After that encounter, Minami discovers that Tsubasa's grandmother is named Minami Fuyuki. She tells Minami that she tried the lunch she prepared for Tsubasa and found it delicious, almost divine. She feels some envy that Tsubasa can enjoy such a rich meal every day. Grateful for the compliments, Minami asks how she knows Tsubasa, and he tries to respond that they are friends, but Tsubasa interrupts and clarifies that they are classmates. The grandmother apologizes and leaves with Tsubasa, thinking that expressiveness in relationships is usually not well received. On the way, Tsubasa regrets knowing that the situation wouldn't turn out well and that he couldn't do anything about it. The grandmother doesn't tolerate expressiveness in relationships and fears that this marks the end of his new life in Hokkaido. Suddenly, Minami appears from behind and asks them to wait. She explains that her grandmother is using an umbrella, but because it's snowing, it's not a good idea because she could slip and hurt herself with hands occupied. Minami suggests putting away the umbrellas and tells them about a safer path to get home. She offers to accompany them to guide them and approaches the grandmother to tell her that she can carry her things because she makes exquisite food. The grandmother agrees, and Minami asks if she's angry, to which the grandmother responds that no, she just considers her a very important friend. Upon arriving at Tsubasa's house, Minami is impressed by its size. She remembers that they have a date and decides to say goodbye. However, the grandmother stops her, thanking her for arriving early, and offers her a warm tea. Minami enthusiastically accepts, but while serving the tea, the grandmother is surprised to see Minami taking pictures of everything. She decides to spy on her and thinks about the possibility of keeping a closer eye on her. Meanwhile, Tsubasa recalls his childhood and how he promised to be someone important to his grandmother. The grandmother comments that she hasn't seen Tsubasa smile like that in a long time and suggests trusting that smile. On another day of classes, the teacher informs about the skiing class next week, and when checking the seating map, Tsubasa observes that he is behind Minami but notices that Akino is also sitting next to her. And so ends this second episode of this romantic anime. Subscribe to see more anime summaries, and leave in the comments which other anime you want me to cover. This is Prime Animes, and see you next time.